An hour ago, Sacramento leaders unanimously approved an agreement to combat homelessness together. The plan includes hundreds of additional shelter beds in the next few years, along with behavioral health centers throughout the city and the county. Now, the city will also fund 25 community response encampment workers, but none of what is being discussed will be built in time for this winter. Some 9,300 people are experiencing homelessness throughout Sacramento County, and there are only about 1,300 beds for all of those folks. Becca Habegger brings us the stories of the people who are living on the streets right now, who are bracing for yet another bitter cold winter that will be spent outside.
It's hella cold outside. I live outside, and it's not easy. It's kind of hard, you know what I'm saying? We, us as a community, we struggle for what we got.
This man, who lives near Sacramento City Hall and tells us he's known just as KC, says he's been homeless since he was 11. That's years of winters spent outside.
The last little rainstorm that they had, water's going all around me. It came up under my tent and started soaking everything from the bottom up. So for the past 4 or 5 days, I've been soaked. It's not cool. It sucks. I mean, it sucks. You get wet, you can't get dry.
Now it's really gotten cold, so I have to get inside.
Deborah Dixon, also near Sacramento City Hall, says she's been unhoused for about 5 years. She says she's using one of the temporary overnight shelters on these cold nights. The city has 2. The county has 1 for walk-ins. The county also has a motel voucher program and North A shelter expansion, both referral only. But all these options are just temporary. And a couple of the county's tiny home projects originally slated to be open around now have been delayed, meaning no additional permanent supportive housing will be added for people this winter. We asked Casey what he'd like to say to city and county leaders.
You guys got hella open lots, so start putting those little tiny houses on them so we can be inside. I mean, I think it cut back on seeing us in the public eye.
Seeing us in the public eye, he says, acknowledging that adding housing for the unhoused benefits not only them, but also anyone who sees these tent communities as a public eyesore and safety or health concern.
Becca's joining us again. Permanent housing solutions aren't in the immediate future. What about some temporary solutions, especially with all of this cold weather?
Right. Well, the city and the county, they say they're monitoring the forecast, the National Weather Service, and they have the possibility to extend the dates of their existing shelters, or they could even open new shelters. Currently, in terms of temporary weather-related beds between the county and the city, combined total, there are about 100 beds that are available right now for walk-ins. These shelters, these temporary cold weather shelters, they typically open when the forecast meets certain criteria the city and the county follow. For example, 2 of the next 5 nights in the forecast reach 37 degrees or colder, and then those shelters, they close once the weather gets a little bit better. Perhaps we should say a little bit less bad. If you're sleeping out in 39-degree weather, it's not like that's warm by any means.
Yeah.
But of course, housing advocates say permanent shelters, permanent supportive housing, that's what we need. And we need it yesterday, right?
Yeah. And if you joined us yesterday, we reported on a man who died due to hypothermia, who was sleeping outside. Can you remind everyone again what people should do if they do see someone who might be on the sidewalk freezing, especially during this time?
For sure. I know in both hot weather and cold weather, I have passed people on the street who seem, I don't know if they're passed out, if they're sleeping, or something even worse.
Yes.
The city says in a situation like that, go ahead, call 911. If it's a matter of life and death, or potentially life and death, call 911.
Call. All right, Becca, thank you. We appreciate it as always.